Hello, good day. We are here to discuss something which are important not only to your mental health and to our mental health, but something to discuss which will really matter not only for today but for the future. Right, Sir Mar?
Yes, indeed. And this afternoon, we are not just here, for the sake of giving a simple talk, but we talk because simple talk matters. And before we begin our, simple conversation this afternoon, of course, let us first begin with our self-introduction. So allow me to introduce myself to all the viewers who are watching right now. I am Mr. Raymar Rosales, PE and Health Teacher at Basic Education Department. And I have here my partner with me.
Hi, arat na. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Princess Pesi Deliva. I am having my study leave actually for those who don't know me yet. Next year, we will be meeting each other and basically I am handling Prof Ed, English, and some minor subject in the college department. So, for us to start, siguro Sir Mar, let's allow me to have my phone for us to discuss. Okay, so I think we were not tasked, but we were told to have discussion of establishing peace, value, and meaning. But before we proceed to the guide questions, may I ask you, partner, when I will ask you what is the meaning of peace, what is peace for you?
Actually, of course, we all have our own definition of what peace is, right? So if we try to really dig deeper, or literally saying, when we say peace, it's just the state of tranquility, quietness, free from noise. But for me, we can actually define peace in many dimensions, and it depends basically how you see your own peace. So I think for me, I would go to the in-depth meaning of peace, which is, you are free from violence. And I think nowadays it's very important that each one of us would always hold our own peace.
Yeah.
I think in this modern world where we are in today, given the fact that we have social media, we have different pressures, and somehow these stressors that affect our daily living somehow can really disturb our own peace. So I think that's it. You're free from violence, you're free from any disturbance, and somehow if you have peace, you can see to it that you have a very good sense of passion to what you are doing, and you have this particular good focus that every day for whatever tasks you are going to do, you can survive at the end of the day because you have the peace. And peace, again, is very important to each one of us. What about you, partner? In your own vocabulary, how do you define peace?
For me, I will be taking my definition of peace on what you have discussed, where you have somehow focused that peace is the absence of pressure. Okay, so there's 2P there. For me, as a mom of one already, and even you as a parent, right? So we are into the exposure that sometimes we don't own our own peace because there are a lot of factor that has been disturbing us, interrupting us, and there we go, pressure with peace. So with the existence of pressure, if one could not handle it, then peace might not be present to one person. And I could always I always relate this. Whenever I am disrupted, interrupted, or somehow problematic with the peace within me, I should always ask myself, if it cost my peace then it should be expensive. Because when someone is at peace, your whole attention, your energy is focused on it. So therefore, never deprive yourself of your own peace unless otherwise it is that worthy, it is that expensive, or it is that important. Because sometimes we really need to go out with our comfort zone and battle with our monsters. Kasi, yun yung sometimes we try to claim that we are very peaceful, but we are very in denial of our own monster, which are inside us. So, for me, that's what peace for me. If it costs you your peace, then it should be expensive.
Definitely, I have to agree. I think my partner here, Madam Princess, has just, mentioned about being a parent. And I think, the kind of life, the state of life that we have at the moment being parents, I think there's a really big difference if we compare our peace when we were
much younger.
Right? Now that, of course, we are both parents, and I think your daughter Alpha is 5 years old, 4 years old.
3 years old, toddler.
And like what she mentioned earlier, peace can really vary. And if we compare as to how we define peace at the moment, when we were single and we were just alone before, right? And now, if we compare the kind of life we have right now, of course, if we define peace, hilo, So, sometimes our responsibilities also every day can also disturb or even disrupt the kind of peace we live in. So, if I'm going to ask you, partner, how do you differentiate, the kind of peace you had before to the kind of peace you have today? Is there similarity or are there differences? What do you think? As a mother.
Thank you for throwing that question, no? But what I realize now is that I somehow, let me claim it, I am way mature rather than compared to what I am 5 years ago, because back then my definition of peace is hilom. However, today, at this instance, having my child, having my career, having my academics, despite the existence of simultaneous chaos, disruptions, I could still say I'm still peaceful. Why? The moment I know that I have achieved things which doesn't hurt others. Because for me, the very definition today of what peace is making sure that as I venture towards my goals and aim, I am not disrupting, I am not hurting, and I am not pressuring others. Because soon, you learners, iba pa kasi yung gauge ng experience ninyo. But when you go with your professional life, you will directly have a sense of weighing things. And sometimes when you are already pressured with everything, you become unpeaceful. So it's a very big challenge. I'm not saying that your challenges are small compared to us. No, your challenges, you could validate your feeling because we all have different struggles and trials. However, what is important is how we become resilient and how we try to achieve peace without, again, hurting others, compromising others, and having that kind of path that I want to be peaceful, but for me to be peaceful, I want others to be like this. I don't think that's a very good idea that we venture to our path being peaceful and we hurt others, right? Definitely. So, how about you, Sir Mar? With you, knowing that already you are a professional, having your thesis writing and all of the pressure with the preparation of your subjects, do you still consider yourself peaceful or at peace?
Wow, that is a very difficult question to ask. Given the fact that, like what my partner, Madam Princess, just mentioned a while ago, like we gauge in different levels as we walk in this particular life. Like if we compare, the kind of lives that our students are having right now, and
Yeah.
so on, when they mature, when they go to this certain stage, it can somehow affect, the kind of peace they are having. And so, if I'm going to, describe the peace I have right now, if it really affects the kind of peace I have today, given the pressures I am dealing with today, I would say yes. I think the stressors, that we encounter every day, one of which is, of course, our academics. Like, I'm having my master's at the moment, and Madam Princess is also having her doctors, right? So I think it's just one of the few stressors that we are having every day, which will even if there's just a pinch of a stressor that we can get from this particular thing that we did every day, still it can disrupt the kind of peace that you have. Of course, we have to admit we are not perfect.
True.
And at the end of the day, aside from the academics, aside from the job that we have,
Personal.
at the end of the day, we go home, we are parents, we are husband and wife, and we have things aside from what our job requires us to do. We still have our responsibilities.
Marital responsibilities.
Yes, our working time. So that's another thing, to be discussed. But yes, it can really affect the peace that I am having right now. However, I have to see to it that I am still in control, of my own life. There are so many instances that the external factors may affect the kind of peace that you have. Like, for example, our bosses, our students, even our family members. These are the external factors. But I have to see to it that I am still in control. Like, I will not let my stressors hinder my goal, my path. Like what she mentioned a while ago, it's very important that we have a clear path to follow. Because if we, become astray and we lose control of ourselves, that's when chaos begins to happen. And it's very difficult, especially if this chaos will take over and you will lose control of everything. And I think, partner, there's a big tendency that, there will be imbalance. And in imbalance, it will now create ladders of, problems
Bigger
that will
problems,
arise, right? So it's very important to really have a full control of your own self. No matter what, you face.
Yeah.
It's very important.
And with that, I think it's good for us to discuss also, in our experience, what are the elements that made, or what are the elements needed to achieve peace, to maintain peace, and to ensure that despite of the problems we are still peaceful, not only on kasi yung iba, they are very peaceful towards outside, however, they are very wrecked inside. So that it's like a facade only. So it's good also, sir, that we try to communicate to our students and tell them what are the elements of peace, what are the elements of peace, that somehow out from these elements we could say that peace could be sustained and attained. Okay, so I think it's you could start if you will be asked somehow what are the elements you could mention to maintain and to achieve peace.
Wow.
Yes.
I wasn't prepared for the question. But let me just put the context of the elements of peace, according to my own experience. In order for someone, to achieve the optimum peace, these elements are very important for him or her, or for someone, like our viewers, to always have a good grasp, of peace. And I think the first element of peace for me would be balance. I think that's given. So balance, that's in general term. Balance of your career, your own private life, everything should be in good balance. Because again, with the imbalance, that's when chaos starts to arise, and it will create, ladders of problems. And I think the second element of peace for me would be harmony. Like, if you learn to blend with others, of course we cannot deny the fact that no man is an island. And every day we have to deal with other people. We need to blend in order for us to be able to adapt and adjust to the kind of environment where we are. Whether you are students or professional, we all have to accept the fact that we have to be social beings. We need to socialize, and through harmony, we will be able to, make a good structure of peace because everything is in harmony.
Yeah, that's
And I think the last element of peace for me would be the concept of holistic health. I think that's it. When we say holistic health, you are not just to focus on one particular aspect. We have to admit as well that in order to achieving, your optimum health, let's say for example, your physical health, mental health, other aspects of health must be considered as well, like your social health, your spiritual health, your environmental health, and of course, given the physical and the mental health, and also your emotional health.
yeah, very.
So I think, if you have a good balance, harmony, and you have a good grasp of holistic health, I think, it would be easy for someone to really have a good grasp of
peace.
in your own concept, partner.
Concept.
I will throw back,
Yes.
you the question. So what do you think? What are the elements of it?
For me, if you have provided a balance, holistic, and what's the other one?
Harmony.
The harmony. I would go with my 3 P's in my life. Peace, 3 P's, P for peace. Okay, so it goes with priority, persuasion, and prayer. Why? First, priorities. Learn to prioritize. Each one of us, we have different monsters, different struggles in our life. And sometimes we are too consumed with it. That's why when you said, if you are not peaceful, it might give birth to bigger problems. But however, when one is peaceful, one could learn how to prioritize. We all know we have lots of pressure, but one thing is good when you learn to prioritize is when you know what should be done first so that I could resolve this and that. Because if you don't resolve or if you don't prioritize things, then it might create disorganization towards you that will make you confused, that will make you discouraged, and will make you to lose your track. That's why prioritizing is one way of achieving peace, so that you know what first step to make so that you could achieve the final step. What's wrong with people sometimes kasi, they always go onto the goal and not on the process. Yan yung mali sa atin, di ba? Sometimes, even me, I assume that I am one of those person that I always go, ano ba ang dapat tapusin? Hindi kung ano ang paraan para ito ay matapos. Yeah. So, I think that's one good thing, students, and for our audience, that we should learn to prioritize, because making a list of our priority would allow us to be organized, and when we are organized, we are at peace. The second one is persuasion or persuading oneself. Being peaceful means also confronting your monster. We are not living in a fairy tale, ha? May problema tayo, may pinagdadaanan tayo, and there are even times we cry because we don't know what to do. And the worst thing that we do actually, this is according to books and research, when we feel so vulnerable, we don't want to confront. Alam niyo ba yun? Ganun yung tao pag feeling nila na, hala, dili ko ani kay masakitan ko, I am scared of this. So we try not to go within that path. But actually, according to discussions of researchers, they say, it's good to deal with your evil, they said, because the moment you understand why you are so afraid, why you are so problematic, why you are so miserable towards these things, the more you appreciate, kaya pala ako ganito, kaya pala hindi ako achiever kasi ayoko lang mag-achieve kasi takot ako ma-judge ng iba. So wala kang peace na ganyan. Ay, kaya pala ako, I am the type of person who don't like to be friends with others because may problem ako sa trust. Kasi back then, I have given my trust and it was shattered so much kasi may nagpakita ng convo, ng message namin. Arat na, yung mga yung mga ganon. So, nasira talaga yung trust. So, with that, I think it's persuading yourself to confront your inner monsters, because by knowing yourself, you would know that I am like this because there's a reason and you need to validate your feelings. So, students, ha?
Yes.
Hindi yung, ay kasi OA ako, no. There's no such thing as overreacting because your feelings. I'm not saying that you will feel entitled because of your feelings. What I am saying is that you need to validate what you are feeling because what you are feeling is real. So, it should be validated, okay? And the last one, ito talaga yung pinanghuhugutan ko, prayer. Because when nothing seems right, di ba? Nadyo'y times nga, pero tinali mong pamugas, kanang walay grasya, walay gift of peace, despite that you are achieving so much in life, lamig kag love life, daghan kag viewers sa YouTube and all of the certain achievements you want to mention, but there is really a time where you would ask, I am great, but I am not peaceful. Do you know that's the question of King Solomon to himself, that he acquired, he has everything already, pero dili siya at peace. Oh, so that's why he had communication with our Lord, and out from it, di ba, yung gift of communication. Kaya nga prayer is the best way to communicate all the feelings you could not say. And that's one thing that I learned, diba, knowing from St. Michael's School of Padada.
Of St. Michael's School.
Yes.
You mentioned about prayer. I actually remember Sister
Elnora, yeah. Kasi galing kami ng SMSP Padada.
Yes. And definitely, you know, when things don't seem to work anymore, and if you don't seem to understand what's happening, it's always valid to always ask God, you know, to take over. I like that, the prayer. It's so powerful, right? Even if you have nothing already, like you will get to a point where you feel so empty and you feel like no friends can really understand, no family can understand. If you feel like that, of course, we have them, but there's really times that, you know, we feel like so empty. And the best and the most powerful tool is the communication with God.
God.
And that is prayer. I would have to agree with that. It's so deep.
Yeah, so thank you for offering.
Gives me goosebumps.
Okay, so I think before we proceed to our last question, let's appreciate first who, So, arat na again. So, we are having this very delicious tea from kanino? From kanino po ito? Okay, from Plania Foods Incorporated. Thank you very much. Let's taste it, Sir Mar.
Okay, let's review.
Actually, masarap siya.
Sure ba?
Yung sugar level,
My students will be mad at me because, you know,
you're trying to discriminate them to consume one.
To be refraining from consuming too much sugar. However, it's okay, but not all the time. Right?
Not all the time. Oh, but it's good that we consume.
Deprive, right?
Yeah, don't deprive. Actually, it's good to be healthy towards our foods, but there are times also that we need to make our souls happy and ourselves happy.
Yes, food for our mental health, diba? True. If you're happy, then so be it.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Yes.
Let's review. Give me a scale of 1 to 10.
Ano bala ito? For me, as 18, kasi hindi ako masyado sweets. Matcha kasi gano'n ang mga matcha. Oo. Hindi kasi I'm not into super sweet. Feeling ko yung mga friends ko mag-react, hindi super. Sure, Jug Katin. Pero bitaw, it's good.
Sweetness. right? You're a
Because of my husband, shout out. And your wife also. So I think we need to proceed to our last question. Here, it's very good. We have been asking of how we maintain peace. Now let's go with our significant others. Okay, so Sir Mar, if you will be asked, or if you will give certain tips on how to respect the peace of others, especially those people who are trying to challenge your peace. Kasi okay lang, di ba, Sir Mar, kung example, this type of persons, okay kayo.
Yes, yes.
However, let's go on the situation na yung kind or yung group of people or a specific person is the one challenging your peace. How will you communicate to him or her, still managing to respect his peace and maintaining your peace? Mahirap yan.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Thank you for that wonderful question. It's so difficult. It's a difficult question again, right? Because we not give what we don't have.
Yeah.
And definitely, if you would like to give someone a peace, then you really expect that someone would also have to give your peace in return, and vice versa. So, if we speak about our significant others, I've been married for 3 years actually. What about you, partner?
Going 5 years.
Wow, going 5 and stronger.
Right? Yes.
So, okay, if we talk about giving peace, and receiving peace from one another, despite the closeness that we have, like we are so open, we have to admit that, of course, again, we are, committed to our spouses, of course, and regardless of how close you are, I think for every couple, there should be this particular thing that we need to maintain, and that is boundary.
Oh yes,
right? That's boundary. Privacy. I think, of course, we are committed, we are married, right? Like, we commit to our good Lord that we remain faithful and loyal. Of course, that's a fact, But I think for me, sometimes, there are really times that we just prefer to be with ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? We, in this particular time, it's my me time, kumbaga, right? And of course, in return, we also have to give that to our significant others, that they have their own me time as well. So that's why at home I always feel happy. Like, my wife April would always respect my time, especially at night, because when I go home, I only have like an hour to mingle with my daughter, to talk with them, not sleep. But you know what I would do after I go home, after an hour? I proceed chit-chatting with my Chinese students, with my Japanese students.
Yeah, because,
right? So I really have a very short time to be with them. I am really guilty to that. But I see to it that if I have my spare time, I will spend that with them.
Yeah.
And one way of my significant other to give me my peace, my space, is that whenever I just do my ML thing, I play my mobile games, I use my remote control. She gives me the full control of what channel to watch, because that's the only time I get to make a time for myself, because most of the time I'm really busy. And in return, I also give her time.
Yeah. Because
my wife is not so techy actually. Most of her me time, I think you're also agree to this. Ukay-ukay time.
Yeah.
Yes.
You going shopping and going to some apps for shopping.
Definitely.
Uy, hindi. Alam niyo yan, Jomer. Chara.
But actually, sometimes, every now and then, may Shopee delivery.
Uy, sila lang. LBC man sa ako.
So, that's it. No, I give her also her time to do whatever she wants, whenever she wants to be with her family, whenever she wants to be with her friends. it's really important. Of course, before, when we were boyfriends and girlfriends, we were very, jealous time. Of course, immaturity. But as we age, we tend to become mature and understand the importance of boundaries.
Yeah.
What about you? I'm excited.
Yeah. In me, your context is on your significant others. But for me, I would like to somehow tackle Sir Mar. Maintaining peace when I am challenged by someone who is not giving me peace. Because I think it's very relevant for us to mention and discuss also, how do we deal with unlovable people?
Wow.
Yes, because those kind of people, no, napaka-discriminating, unlovable na nga. Those are the ones who challenge our peace. Back then, I would always say that I need to confront someone who's not giving me peace. Ganun kasi ako. I need to converse what I feel. So, sasabihin ko talaga na I don't like you and this is the kind of attitude I don't like towards that you don't na ganon. But the moment somehow I matured, talaga ba? I have matured. I learned that sometimes, yung tinatawag natin na sometimes we need to give time because our emotions, when it is up high, we don't truly have control of our words, the way we respond. May dalawa kasing kind ng reaction, yung ginatawag natin na proactive and reactive. So, if we are very clouded with our bad emotions, then we tend to say reactive bad words even. So what I have learned is that sometimes, di ba, sabi ko kanina, we need to confront our monster, but if it's happening towards the person, take time to listen. Huwag yung ikaw at ikaw muna. Kasi sometimes we try on pointing others, isa lang pala naka-point sa kanila, sa atin apat pala, right? So I think the way, for me I'm not claiming it as a general tip for all, is that when there are confrontations towards someone who is giving you chaos, or giving you not giving you problems or all, I think the best way is first to hear his or her side before you react. Kasi sometimes what we do, we only hear, we don't listen. So it's good that we listen, and out from that, we try to balance things. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng bagay kailangan ng response mo, pero lahat ng bagay kailangan ng respeto mo. So that's it. That's the 2 R's that you need. Sometimes you don't need to respond, and you need, okay. But every time, you need to respect someone. So, that's my take. However, towards my significant others, in a manner ng husband ko, no, I am somehow blessed that my husband is my total opposite and my shock absorber. So, my husband tends to be, if ako yung sobra ka, yung husband ko parang siyang sponge.
Yes.
Pero delikado po pag sobra. Pag masuko na mo. So, that's one thing that we try to regulate, in where I try to converse what I feel, making sure that it's not degrading to him. And now, since my husband is not talkative, on our 5 years, about to go 5 years of marriage, he tried also to communicate, oy, girls and boys, put this on your mind. For you to have a peaceful life, find a partner who will give you peace. Kasi hindi dapat gwapo lang, kasi maraming likes sa Facebook, X, yung mga ganun lang na consideration na go with deeper. Go with someone who will truly loves you, who knows how to pray with you, and who knows how to make your life peaceful.
Who will love your soul.
Yeah,
right?
true.
Not just superficial, but it's beyond that. It's deeper than, the physical.
Yeah. And I think that's wrap up our discussion already,
yes,
sir. And
so what's your takeaway? Based on our,
conversation.
Our conversation.
My takeaway is very simple. You go always with what I believe, that if it costs you your peace, it should be expensive. The 3 P's, you prioritize, you persuade, and lastly, the most important, be prayerful. Always have prayer, and make sure that the moment you achieve peace, you will not hurt others as you go with your path. Okay?
I like that. It's pressure. But for me, my takeaway from this conversation is that I would say, again, each one of us battle our own demons every day. But what is really important is that we should not lose control.
Yeah,
and
balance.
you, at the end of the day, it's you who will take control of your own life. And you have to see to it that in this controlling, you will not really hurt others and you will not hurt yourself. Because it's very important that if we have this particular good control within us, we can always achieve a good peace.
Yes, that's right. So
And I think that's it for our conversation today. I think, partner, Madam Princess, you forgot to rate.
Yeah.
So once again, we would like to thank our milk
sponsor,
today,
Planya Foods Incorporated. So so if you would like to have tea, delicious, affordable, and very accessible, I think they have their Facebook account. If you would like to order, kung gusto nyo po ba magpa-deliver at magpa-chill lang, so you may contact them for you to satisfy your cravings and for you to be happy.
So how do you rate that?
I rate this as 9 kasi I'm not into sugar talaga.
Okay.
I will rate it 10 kung maka-sugar ako. How about
This is
you?
the moment ko today. So I
11.
think
Ano?
Gugma sa Akwang Wife over 10.
Oh, wow! Diba?
That is infinity.
Bugo kong mats.
Kidding, but yes, it's really delicious. So I think it's a good drink. But again, of course, we need to
Balance.
make everything balanced. So dili po siya may kung always.
Yeah. So we will close already this
Thank you so
discussion.
much for our viewers today, and we wish you all safe, of course, and healthy at the same time.
Yes, and please remind yourself that confronting your own demons would not make you less. It would make you more great. Okay?
Yeah.
And with that, this afternoon again, I am Princess Deliva and
I am Mar Rosales, teachers from Corieso College Incorporated, drawing out
the best in you.